We had a fire and water damage restoration business, worked primarily with insurance companies, and we fixed burned and flooded houses and businesses. We've been running the business as a family for 10 years, and we decided we wanted to do something different. I found out about Viking through a friend that had used Viking in the past. I started with Jay 3 years ago and considered selling the business then and ultimately did not, but kept in touch with Jay, and over the course of about 3 years, he had a chance to get to know our business very well. And ultimately, when we made the decision to sell, based on a lot of factors, running a family business being the biggest single factor, but when other things made sense timing-wise, Jay was familiar with our situation and able to pick it up and list it and get good results quick. There are so many moving parts. I mean, from starting off with valuation, which Jay, the master of that, putting together a valuation, helping me understand where the value was in the business, what was to be conveyed, what wasn't to be conveyed, and then the mechanics of how all those dozens and dozens of moving parts would ultimately be marketed and sold. I just didn't know how to do that. And so Jay takes that and makes it, gets it onto 2-3 sheets of paper, is what he does, and then walks you through the process. If we hadn't had somebody like Jay to do that, we would not have been able to sell the business. He built a confidence in me. I was very comfortable with Jay. By the time we got to these stages that I was very uncomfortable with, showing people out from the outside world, the inside world of our business, I was scared to death of doing that. But by the time we got to that, the groundwork had been laid, the reasoning was there, the various paperwork as needed was done, and I was comfortable with that when we got to that point. I think it was about a 6-month process from the time we listed the business for sale, to the time we had an offer that we agreed upon, and then there was a few-month period of due diligence for the buyer, and then we were closed, I think, inside of 8 months, so 7 to 8 months. But we knew in month 5 or 6 that we probably had a deal. And then that played out over the next few months to close. I had no expectation. Obviously, I was very motivated to see it done and would like to have seen it done as quickly as possible, but we were certainly thinking in terms of months and years. So something that takes a half a year to get done was well inside of what we expected. And we didn't have to do an awful lot. Would I recommend Viking? Of course, absolutely I'd recommend Viking. They did a fantastic job for me. They made it much easier than I thought it would be to get done. They took a process that I couldn't comprehend and in the middle of realized was much bigger than I even thought. But at the point I realized how big it was, they were already in control of it and saw it through.